With the advent of intelligent machine processing, communication and cloud access will spark a paradigm shift. There will be a need for low latency access by the machines to the network and also communication between the machines. And consequently, wireless spectrum has become crowded, more taxed, and a prized resource. Today, wireless technology has become commonplace. Principally, there are two major pervasive technologies: Wi-Fi, which we use at our homes and offices; cellular, which we use outside, and roaming. Let us look at the comparison of critical aspects between cellular 5G and Wi-Fi. The fundamental resource for any wireless system is spectrum. 5G is categorized by the band in which it operates, the sub-6 GHz band, also called as FR1, and the millimeter wave bands, also called as FR2. It supports different duplexing methods: frequency division duplexing and the time division duplexing. In frequency division, both the downlink and the uplink operate in different frequencies. And in time division duplexing, the uplink and the downlink operate in the same frequency. You can observe that the FDD are in the lower frequency bands and the TDD are in the higher frequency bands. FDD have lower bandwidth, but because they are in the lower frequency, have larger coverage. TDD, since the downlink and uplink operate in the same frequency, we can observe the channel in one direction and use it for performance improvements in the other direction. 5G is designed to operate in shared, licensed, or unlicensed spectrum. The millimeter wave bands for 5G are in 26 and 39 GHz. Wi-Fi, meanwhile, operates in unlicensed spectrum of 2.4 GHz and 5 to 7 GHz. The millimeter wave bands of Wi-Fi are at 60 GHz and supported by a different standard, 802.11ad. So, as a first principle, cellular technologies do have larger bands available than Wi-Fi, though they are heavily regulated, and licensed spectrum does come at a cost. The physical layer waveform is where both the cellular technologies and Wi-Fi share a commonality. Orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, or OFDM, is the waveform of choice for 5G, cellular, and the newer Wi-Fi technologies. Some of the parameters like cyclic prefix and subcarrier spacing would differ between them. The mechanism for wireless access is fundamentally different between the two technologies. In 5G, it is coordinated by the base station. In Wi-Fi, it is based on carrier sense multiple access. That is, the clients or the access point need to sense for the availability of a channel, grab it, and use it. Data, when sent over the air, or for that matter in any communication channel, needs a mechanism for error correction and recovery. That is forward error correction or channel coding. The encoding process creates systematic bits, which are essentially a function of the data bits, and parity bits, which help in recovery. 5G and Wi-Fi also employ this encoding mechanism. In data channels, both 5G and Wi-Fi use LTPC, but in the control channel, Wi-Fi uses block convolutional code and 5G uses polar codes. 5G data channels employ hybrid ARQ or HARQ to improve the reliability of the transmissions. HARQ essentially combines systematic and parity data across transmissions to improve this reliability. For Wi-Fi, this is a roadmap feature. 5G also has more granular scheduling to improve the efficiency of the system. Transmission power is imbalanced between the two technologies. 5G cellular can transmit upwards of 80 watts in licensed spectrum, whereas Wi-Fi can transmit in less than 1 watt as it operates in unlicensed spectrum. Consequently, the coverage for a 5G system can be quite high, where we can have few hundreds of meters to a few kilometers, whereas in Wi-Fi, the coverage range is a few tens of meters. The devices under the coverage of a cellular system can be about 1,000 devices and maybe 100,000 IoT devices, whereas for Wi-Fi, it would be a few hundred. Mobility and seamless connectivity are key features of the cellular system. whereas roaming is not an inherent feature of Wi-Fi. Both the Wi-Fi and 5G are governed by standard bodies. The cellular system, 5G, governed by the Third Generation Partnership Project or 3GPP, and Wi-Fi is standardized by IEEE and governed by the Wi-Fi Alliance. Now that we have seen some of the differences between Wi-Fi and 5G, let us look at one of the key parameters, which is the access method. In Wi-Fi, it is a half-duplex communication system, which uses the same frequency in both directions, downlink and uplink. All devices in the system, be it access points or clients, need to contend for resource to access them. Let us take this example. There are clients A, B, and C and an access point. When the client B wants to access the channel, it needs to sense for it. If the client C is using the channel at that time, then B will back off, wait for a while, and try again. These are the principles of carrier sense, multiple access, collision avoidance. As a consequence, preambles need to be transmitted for every packet. This is an overhead. Every packet in each direction needs to be acknowledged. Maximum throughput cannot be achieved, and latency-sensitive applications cannot be supported. This is where the latest standards, Wi-Fi 6, are making major strides, where multiple access is simultaneously allowed in spatial and frequency dimension. The cellular system, the scheduling is done by a central system, which is the base station. There are no collisions, and hence it lends itself to latency-sensitive applications. Another key parameter we should take a closer look at are coverage and reliability. The transmission power of the base station and the clients determines the coverage. The control channel decodability in either direction, downlink or uplink, determines the access of the network to the device. In small cells, the base stations and the clients have similar transmission power. This is where 5G and Wi-Fi could scale similarly. However, in macro systems, there can be a significant imbalance in the transmission power capabilities between the base station and the clients. While the base stations can transmit in powers upwards of 80 watts, the clients are limited to transmit under half a watt. As a consequence, signals can easily reach from the base station to the clients, but may not be able to reach from the clients to the base station. To overcome this, cellular systems allow to transmit in uplink in lower bandwidths. The clients can concentrate their powers in these lower bandwidths, and they can arrive at the base station with higher powers. This can be seen from the power control equation. The client transmit power can be seen as a function of the expected arrival power P0, the power factor increase due to the transmission bandwidth, the path loss, and some power control parameters from the base station. As the UE goes far away from the base station, its path loss increases, and having a larger transmission bandwidth hampers the power with which it can be received. So lowering the transmission bandwidth for such clients would help. Traditional Wi-Fi does not support the mechanism of variable bandwidth allocations, so it cannot easily expand the transmission power in Wi-Fi to get larger coverage, though this is being adopted in the latest Wi-Fi standards. Cellular system allows a scalable bandwidth of transmission for the uplink to overcome this. Having looked at the factors that influence 5G and Wi-Fi, we can see that it's not a question of one or the other. Both have their applications. Wi-Fi 6 is expected to be the choice for indoor and last leg wireless communications, and 5G will be the designated choice for outdoor and latency-sensitive applications as envisioned in Industry 4.0. As they evolve, they will adopt from one another. Wi-Fi will bring in multi-user MIMO, beamforming and scheduling efficiencies. Newer standards are expected to bring in HARC and simultaneous transmission and reception. Similarly, NR is expected to have listen before talk. This will allow it to expand into newer bands and use NRU. Until next time, from the edge.